Sorry, I'm on a little late. I had to go visit some friends, so. How the hell are you, dude?
Late.
Yeah, way late.
Recording?
Thank you for waiting. We are live, sir.
All right. Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I'm Jake.
Let's get the intro on this time, the beginning.
I'm Jake.
I'm Drake.
Jake and Drake Show. Welcome to another fabulous week that we are both alive and you get to enjoy our presence.
With his shitty internet.
Yes. Shitty internet. So, how the hell are you, my dude?
Tired, usual. Busy weekend cleaning out storage. Got tomorrow off, though. You got tomorrow off? That why you're down?
Yeah. You say cleaning out storage.
Yeah, storage unit. I had to go get my guitar, and Lena wanted some Xbox stuff. And
where's the picture? You said you were going to send me a picture.
It's my new guitar is not finished yet.
Oh, different guitar. Gotcha.
Yeah, that was just I grabbed my old Warlock out of storage.
Okay.
So I got 3 guitars here now, and one being worked on.
Okay, right on.
Now I got a couple more guitars I got to get. I need a Rickenbacker 4001, and I don't know. I need to get some bass with active pickups, and then
I want to get an acoustic action guitar. What that means.
Rickenbacker's just type of bass. So
no, you said like active bass and some other bullshit.
Active pickups. Basically, you have batteries in it to power the pickups. It's like a built-in preamp, and you can tweak the sound. I do want one of those at some point. I really would like to have a wall, but fuck, those are expensive. And there's like a long waiting list.
What's a wall?
It's a brand of bass.
Oh, okay. And a waiting list for a guitar?
Yep.
What is it, like you custom build that motherfucker on the website?
Yeah, they're custom built, yeah. And then
you can't go down to the pawn shop and pick up a used one?
If I'm lucky. I would love walking into if I walked into a pawn shop and saw a wall bass there for under $1,000, I would scoop that up so goddamn fast. And I'd probably turn around and sell it for $5,000, but the pawn shops around here that have decent musical instruments and whatnot, they kind of know their stuff. So
yeah.
And if somebody had a wall bass that wasn't stolen and brought it into a pawn shop, they would want more than a couple $100 for it. So the store would know to look up, what is this bass? Why is he saying it's a $5,000 bass?
That could be a disgruntled ex, right?
Just whatever. If I keep my eyes open, maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah, that would actually make like pawn shopping like worthwhile. Like if there was like a public listing of pawn shops, like if they published it like online or something, so you didn't actually have to physically go into pawn shops and look for things. You could just be like, oh, dude, I wonder what's available in the area.
Well, the pawn shop that I go to, they list a bunch of stuff on Gunbroker.
That's just guns,
and eBay. But they don't list their entire inventory. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I just know that like small towns tend to have like one pawn shop, if any. But if you're in a bigger city and you're looking for like that thing you found on eBay, right? Is eBay you got it from? The bass guitar?
Yeah, I found one. I found one on Craigslist.
Oh,
that was the one that got stolen. In transport, I told you, the movers. Someone at the movers storage facility stole it.
Okay. But yeah, just imagine if instead of on eBay, you could. Let me mute my phone. I apologize. Yeah, just imagine if you could. There's just some listing for guitars, and you just swing by and pick up a guitar.
Reverb.com. I mean, it's listing for music stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. That's cool. Any right. So this guitar, when's your guitar done? For fuck's sake.
I talked to the guy. Probably next weekend, I'm going to go in and we're going to finish it up. And we're also going to fix my Warlock. I need a new input jack
Mm,
or output jack.
input jack, output jack.
Output jack for
Yeah,
the plug for the
that goes in.
cable.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Mm. So once we get this guitar up and rolling, you'll have your camera on and you'll serenade us with like some badass bass tabs, right?
Probably not, but you can keep hoping.
Okay, what about just the bass tabs?
Yeah, probably not.
Okay, what about just the camera?
Probably not. You're more likely to get bass than you are to get camera.
Yeah.
Camera will come eventually when I feel like it. I just
Okay. How much?
I actually I did make well that was one of the things with the storage though was getting some of the stuff out of my office that are in the way of my green screen. My extra 3D printer, one of my 3D printers, I got two in storage now, one set up here, um, and some other things. I've got my desk, my workbench desk finally cleared off. So we did some work on an AR today, and I did some work on my Warlock. Well, not really work on it, but cleaned it.
I was talking to our mutual friend and I was telling him, dude, it's about time.
The banker
Yeah, I was saying it's about time you get yourself an AR because I was telling him about the shotgun I was
didn't
gonna
did,
get.
didn't Jesus say to like beat bankers?
Didn't what?
Didn't Jesus beat money changers and stuff? And aren't money changers bankers?
I don't know. Huh. I don't know. I just he was talking about getting another handgun because he's got a Glock that's got like the conversion kit from like 40 to 9. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. You know, you can murder somebody with one of the barrels and just throw it away. And what are you talking about? It's a 9 mil barrel. There's no way I killed this guy. Or if you're at the range, you're shooting 40 and you run out, you swap to 9, right? But he was talking about getting a 45. I think he was talking about getting a 45, and I was like, no. I was like, you're a 40-year-old man. You're a patriot. I was like, you need to go get an AR. And his wife was
Well, he
like,
still can.
yeah, well, he still can. His wife was just like, no, no, and I was just like, oh, whatever. He's coming up to visit me in Maryland. Well, he's not visiting me. He's going to a park in July. So maybe we can link up and um, have like a family outing at the park. Like it's like Jellystone Yogi Park somewhere, like right up the road from where I live, like less than an hour. I was like,
Yogi
no,
Jellystone. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Are you talking? Are you talking about like Yogi Bear?
Yogi Bear, hey boo boo, you know.
Hey, boo boo.
Yeah, that guy.
Where's the picnic basket?
Yeah. I don't know, Yogi. The Ranger's really mad. That Yogi. So there's like a little small park. They're coming up there and it's bringing the family. And I said, oh, that's great. I was like, dude, I should have the house. I mean, it'll be July. I should have the house set. You guys can come swing by and check it out and meet Anson, and
Spend time with the woman.
mhm.
See, you can leave Tony's wife with the woman, and then take off, and the kids, and take off.
Well, Tony's got 3 boys and a girl, and their youngest, I think, is like 3. And my youngest will be a year and some change
Yeah,
at that
so
point. But
give your woman an opportunity to spend time with some little kids.
okay. Uh, yeah, so they're coming up um And I told him you would be in the area. I don't know.
Possibly,
Yeah, I said, okay,
and it's looking less likely, honestly.
really?
Yeah, we're if we do a trip, we're gonna probably do something small and short and kind of nearby, more of a scouting thing. Um, we're because we're looking to move and we want to buy a chunk of land,
Okay. But you forgot all
and
of it.
that's gonna be a big expense.
He gave me shit. He asked me why he asked me why I didn't visit you.
Yeah, like or come to my wedding.
Well, he didn't bring that up. He just said, "Oh, yeah, did you visit?" I was like, "What? I was in El Paso." He's like, "Well, I mean, it's what, like 1,600 miles away or something?" You know, I was like, "Oh, come on, man." It's like, "Why don't you visit him?" I've linked up with him quite a few times, you know? Like I probably, you know, at this point, like we're just like we're having a secret love affair. We meet up at a video game convention or we meet up in DC. Like I'm surprised we haven't met up in Vegas yet. So, um, but yeah,
Oh, we could have done the shot show, man.
where?
Could have come to shot show with me.
I don't know what that is.
That's the big giant gun convention.
Okay. Um, it does complicate things with kids, so I don't know. And then of course the new job too, so I don't know what that's going to be like. But yeah, that's encouraging.
Did they pass your security clearance and all that, or can we
I
talk about that?
I could talk about it. I just I haven't done any of that. I
As you get cut off from the internet.
hello hello.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Okay.
frozen and cut.
Am I frozen still?
No, but they're delayed. Hold on, give it a second to catch up. All right, try now.
Right. So no, because there's different things you have to do. You have to have clearances for the different levels of computer access. You have to have clearances to obviously be in the position, right? Because there's briefings on the missions, and then you have to have clearances. I think, like, and I say clearances, I just mean like paperwork, and they're all separate. Then there's paperwork to do the actual job, so like to actually go out in the field.
They're going to go down the list when it comes to known associates, and they come look at me. They're going to lock your ass up, dude.
No, I wouldn't. I don't even know who you are, sir. I know nothing about you. Oh, he was a Timothy McVeigh. Dude, the only time I ever saw
No,
him was
I
at Disneyland.
never would do something like that.
Well, I didn't say you would, but I mean, of course, you're also saying they would lock me up for just merely knowing you. So, what would you possibly have to offer to lock me up for? So,
Oh, they just don't like people with my kind of brain.
you mean people that have a brain?
Unmutual and disharmonious.
The people that use the brain, things like that. So, yeah, no. I'm still waiting on my computer access. I got my computer and then I tried to log in. It said my account was locked. So that's kind of the norm, but that just means like you're just switching installations. And when you switch installations, they usually lock your account out anyway. So it is what it is. But I have a house. I am working towards a house. I think that,
Call the help desk.
well, there's nothing I can do as far as the computer's concerned. I've already done everything I can. So it's in the hands of the civilians. Like when I say locked out, it's like, it's not locked out for a bad reason. So, for example, if you don't use your account, like if you have a government account, it can be locked out for many reasons. So, there's annual training. If you don't do the annual training, your account gets locked. If you don't log into your account for 30 days, your account gets locked. If, um, if you know, the annual training I was just talking about, like let's say you were on a really big post like Fort Bliss, and let's say you were in one unit, and then you transferred instead of like going to a different post, you went to another unit and that training came due. So when the training is about to come due, right, it'll send you an email like, "Hey, asshole, your annual training's going to come due. You need to do it, or we'll lock your account." Well, it's tied into that specific unit, so if you don't change your paperwork from unit A to unit B, then you don't get that notifier that you're 30 days out from your certificate expiring, and then they lock your account out. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why it locks out. If you're under investigation, example, like let's say I got a DUI and I was under investigation and it was pending, they would lock my account too. So there's just a lot of reasons why they would, but mine would probably be because I have not been on a government account for over 30 days because I've been on vacation and I didn't have a government computer and I wasn't going to drive all the way to the nearest installation library to get onto a government line. And so, but yeah, I'm buying a house, by the way, so that's going on. Supposed to be closed the 22nd of March is when they're anticipating the closing date. I've done all I could do every day. If I get paperwork, I sign it, and it's just I do my part. So, um, I would I would just hope to be moved in before the middle of March. That would be great because then I could have my household goods moved in, and then
Well, if it closes on the 22nd of March, then that's when you'd be able to start moving in, right?
well, I'm hoping it'll do before that. That's what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
I could talk to my realtor and see if we could do like a. I don't know what it is. It's like something where you reach an agreement with the sellers where you're like, yeah, I'm pretty much closing on your house. I'm really interested. The bank's approved, and now we're just waiting on like something. It could be something. So that being said, um, they have like a thing where you can move in earlier than you close, but and those people haven't lived there. They're not actively living there anyway. I think they're somewhere out of state. So
Are there people currently living in the place that they need to
no,
move?
no. The only thing they did is they staged the house, right? They put the furniture up and shit. So um, that's it. But
Oh man,
what?
no, I just my father's house. They got contractors who are renovating it, and I saw a picture of it. And they got a stage and stuff like that. Well, they're some of the rooms that are done, and it was depressing. Just they knocked down walls and changed so much. It's just the shock and realization that I can never go home again.
Okay.
Well, pretty much the house I grew up in.
Every time. So when I grew up in North Dakota. I lived in two different places in North Dakota, and every time I go up to North Dakota and I'm in Fargo, if I'm in Fargo, I go see if I can find that one house, and if I'm in Minot, I try to go see if I can find the other house. Well, no, three different places. So we lived in an apartment, then we lived in a house, and then we lived in a duplex. So three different places. Okay, maybe I got that backwards. Anyway, there's three different places I live there besides my grandfather's, so that would be four. So I try if I'm in any one of those cities, Powers Lake, Minot, or Fargo, I try to see, and the one house is still there, the one in the Fargo, but the apartment that was in Fargo is gone. It's something else there. My grandfather's clinic it's still there, but the duplex in Minot, I don't remember exactly where it is, so I can't find it.
Well, the structure's still there, but it's not the same house.
Right.
It's just looking at the pictures, it's completely different.
Have you visit? Oh, is this is in California?
Yeah.
Oh, so you actually, well, when you were in California, did you go visit it?
Well, on occasion. I mean, my dad lived there.
No, I mean,
I mean,
okay,
he lived there for the past
yeah, okay.
40, 45 years.
Well, how do you know that it's changed? Are you looking on like Google Maps or something?
No, the contractor sent me pictures.
Okay.
So they're renovating it, and the contractor sent me pictures of this place, and And it's just not the same, you know?
What's being done to the house?
They just, I mean, they had to fix the roof was one the big thing. That clear all my dad a lot of my dad's shit out of there. Um, but they like tore out the carpets, tore off the walls, knocked down some of the walls, um, painted and so on.
Who owns the house?
Technically, well, my father's estate.
So your mother?
Nope, they're divorced. My mother's married in Nevada.
Does he have a will?
Nope.
So
So I mean, the probate stuff happened. I mean, I signed off to have this company handle the whatchamacallit, the estate,
mhm.
and basically signed over rights to the house for them. Have a contract with them for that. So they're dealing with the house and going to sell it. Then I get a cut of the sale, and then the other money and assets my father had then come to me once probate settled.
So wait. So this contractor, was he working on your dad's house prior to your dad's passing, or he's somebody you guys hired?
He's somebody who um he also worked as a home inspector. So when things started happening, um it wasn't him, it was, I don't know. There were several people I talked to with the city, and then I ended up talking to him, and he was a home inspector that does stuff for another company, but his wife and he do these renovation things.
Hmm.
So they're going in, renovating, selling it. I get a cut of the sale, and
I guess what I'm saying is who pays for this? Who's paying for the renovation?
they are.
So this is so confusing. Help me out with my feeble brain right now.
All
So
right. So
so
there's
no
a house.
no, I get it. So but the thing is the house is still locked up in this process of deciding who gets the house or where the estate, right? California.
Yeah.
So it may not even end up being your house, right? For some fucking reason, right?
Well, there was, I mean, it was approved in court that they could renovate and sell it. So I attended that Zoom court hearing.
Gotcha.
Um, but the as far as the renovation and stuff, they've got the different expenses, the mortgage, the this and that,
Hmm.
the expenses for renovation, and then what they're going to sell it for. So they estimated a certain amount of profit, cut me a check for my share, and then of that, based on that, and then if there's more profit, then I get more. If there's less, I don't get less. I don't have to pay them back anything.
Mm.
So if it doesn't cost quite as much, or it turns into a bidding war and it sells for more than expected, then I get more. But
Okay.
right now it looks like I'm probably gonna get another couple $1,000s.
Nice.
I mean,
Under
not
the
bad considering at the time I was ready to walk away from it,
uh,
thinking that it was completely underwater.
under the table.
No, not under the table.
uh, damn. You gotta pay taxes. I mean, you could just have them like pay you in like Bitcoin or something, just to avoid the. 'Cause I don't know what it is. You got to claim something over a certain
All
amount
I'm
of money,
paying
right?
Krugerrands.
What's that?
I'm paying Krugerrands.
I have no clue what those are.
Gold coins.
Oh, yeah, pay you in gold coins. Yeah, I want my shit in gold coins. Because I don't know what it is, but there's like some kind of threshold where if you get some kind of income over the X amount, you have to claim it. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like it'd be one thing if the house was given to you, right? Like if the state gave you the house and you hired
Well,
these
I'm his only heir.
that's what I'm saying. So what it
So
sounds
outside of any of his debts and stuff that need to be settled, I'm his only surviving heir.
Mhm.
My sister died, 11 years ago. My mom's gone and remarried.
Mm.
He's got a brother and sister, but they're
Right.
not heirs.
No, I get that. It just sucks. Like that guy, I imagine your dad has like, I mean, he's had that house forever. I don't know if it's paid off, but he's got a mad amount of equity in that house, and you should be the heir to that house, and then you should be hiring someone, a contractor, to fix it up and sell
I
it.
I, I didn't want to. I didn't. I'd have to go to California and kind of oversee that shit.
It's COVID, man. You can do everything on Zoom.
No, I looked into that. I would have had to be there more than I wanted to be. Plus, when all that started, I was dealing with my accident was a lot more fresh, and
Mm, yeah, yeah. Well, good luck with that. I hope that house blows it out of the park. I hope you get a large chunk.
well, I mean, like I said, I thought it was completely underwater because he did the whole reverse mortgage thing and kept taking money and whatnot. But
Oh shit, for real?
yep.
Who's that?
But
Who's that guy? Who's that guy? Tom Selleck got him.
I don't know.
Tom Selleck does a lot of those reverse mortgage commercials. Uh,
But it just seeing the photos and stuff, it bothered me because you know
so maybe 10 years from now, if you're still alive, you can go look at it. Mm.
no. Like I went back to the family property in Hawaii and took a look and was just I gotta leave. It just they completely knocked down my grandparents' place and put in like a triplex.
What the fuck is a triplex? A duplex with
Like
three houses?
yeah,
Okay.
it was like two lots. It was two lots next to each other, but one lot was basically a whole garden. So they paved over the garden and took down all the trees, the mango tree, the papaya tree, and just did it. That's one thing too. There were some rare trees that my dad had in his backyard that I wanted to get cuttings from, and they just chopped them all down, ripped them up.
Mm. Sorry to hear that.
So I was a little bit irritated about that because that was really what I wanted to get out of there. But is what it is.
Mm. Well. Mm. Mm. Yeah.
But my
So
wife just says, we gotta. That just means we gotta find our property, put down our roots, and make our new home.
she's not wrong. She's not wrong. Um, I can't wait to do that. I can't wait to be in that stage of my life. I've actually like call me crazy. I've been thinking about adopting another kid. Well, adopting a kid, so I'd have two kids. So that thought crossed my mind. I don't think the woman's gonna have another kid, which is fine. So I was thinking
That's
adopt.
I'm not okay. This is a conversation to have when I can speak freely.
Well, I'm just saying I'm thinking of adopting a kid. I want a kid. Um, you know, have you thought about adopting kids?
No, but we did talk about fostering.
So you like watch them for like a couple years and then send them off
Yeah,
when they get to that stage where they talk back. So you send them to the next home. Is that what you are talking about?
something like that. So I
you,
don't know, man. I could train them into
I was yeah.
you know,
That's
into
ex-
good minions, man.
that's what I was just. Like, you guys would probably be fired after, like, the first batch of kids, like, made it through the system because their final forever parents would be like, "Yeah, he we gave him an allowance, and then he bought a 3D printer, and then he made a plastic AK-47, and then he invited his friends over, and he showed them how to assemble and disassemble a plastic AK-47, and we asked him where he learned it, and he said he learned it from Darien. I don't know why he would want to do something, and he keeps telling us that the government is corrupt and that taxation is theft. Sir, you can't be teaching kids this, you know. So that's
Shit,
what I.
man. If these kids are in the foster system, they know the system's corrupt.
Mm, not
I guess
necessarily.
there's like a huge demand for foster care right now. They're paying, did she say, like 4 times the normal amount, the base rate. Like if you normally got, I think the normal thing is like 9.95 or something like that a month for a kid of whatever certain age range.
Okay.
If so, that means you get like 4 grand a month for one kid.
I mean, I honestly like I don't think I would foster. I would probably want to just be with that child throughout like its entire life cycle. I'd want to be able, it's like planting a tree. I'd want to plant the tree. I would want to water the tree. I'd want to, fertilize the tree, prune the tree, uh, all the way through all phases of life. And ultimately, you want to see that kid walk across, the high school stage and maybe college, maybe join the service, maybe get a really good uh, job like a plumber, electrician, apprenticeship job, and I'd want to be involved in that. I would. I'm not saying you, and I wouldn't do it for the money either. That's why I don't know fostering because you know what would happen? I would get attached, right? Like think of your cats, the ones that you have. I'm sure some of those cats were probably fosters, and then you just ended up keeping them, right? Is that because I know Jessica did that. She had a couple cats, and then like you let you fall in love with the cat because of its personality or something.
That was like what my ex would do. I'm making air quotes right now. She'd foster
Or
a litter of kittens, which meant we just got 5 more cats.
So that being said, right? I would grow a bond to that child, and when it was time for that child to go to another house, I wouldn't probably want to. And plus, I want to. You give even if you find a home for those animals, you want to know that that home is a responsible home, and there's no really good way of like
Well, and
guaranteeing that.
most of the fosters are older. It's like not like adopting a baby. It's like 8, 9 years old, or
Mhm.
in their early teens.
Right, right. So they
So
already
they've already got some sort of personalities and whatnot.
right. The socialization process is almost complete, and you're gonna show up, and the kid's gonna think that you're a racist bigot or you're a stupid old man. You don't know anything or something. Not necessarily, but yeah. That thought crossed my mind. I was like, like I have a kid now. I was like, I'm just gonna adopt a kid. You know, I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't care if it's a boy. Wouldn't care if it's a girl. I wouldn't care what the skin color is. Wouldn't give a shit. I just I heard they're fucking expensive though. I heard it's like really expensive.
Or or you could wait until your situation settles and have another kid.
Um, I mean, there's options, right? What is that thing? What do people do? Was it surrogacy, right?
That's not what I'm talking about.
Well, no, I'm saying like I'm throwing all the options on the table. Like a surrogacy is where you pay somebody,
I'm not
right?
allowed to talk about the option I want to push.
Oh, I'm just speaking freely. I don't need necessarily too much input, but I did want to know if you thought about adopting kids because you guys have an empty household. You guys are going to be setting roots. I just
No,
didn't
the whole
know.
the whole point of getting snipped and all that is not having kids.
I get that. Jesus. Like, but I'm saying, like, so you have your daughter, right? You have your
Hmm.
wife, but you don't have a son. You need someone to carry
I
on
have a
your.
grandson.
You have a grandson, yeah, but I mean, you don't have a son, and he doesn't necessarily have to be the heir to your shit when you die.
Well,
But
that's awfully misogynistic of you.
what?
My daughter would kick your ass.
She would, because I'd let her. She probably could anyway, but
Probably taller than you too.
dude, she probably is. They don't stack shit this high. So I don't know. I wanted to know if you thought about adopting, but you said
No,
you would
no.
foster. Okay.
We we thought it wouldn't be. I wouldn't want to turn into like a long term. It would be basically to help the kids out while in transition, while finding their forever homes.
Hmm. Forever homes. That's the term that pet fosters use, huh? I wonder if that's
I
the
don't
term
know.
people fosters use as well. We need to find Fluffy her forever home. We need to find King his forever home. We need to find Brandon his forever home. I guess the weird part about fostering kids, right, versus like animals, is you can't. I know you like adopted a couple of animals,
You
and
can't
maybe.
crate train them.
Well, yeah, yeah, legally, but no, you can't change their name. They already have a name. So like if they showed up and they had like a name you just didn't like, it's like maybe it didn't fit them, or maybe you just wanted to name it like animals. Like I got my first cat, and my first cat that I got had a stupid name, so I named my cat Kitty Cat Johnson. So I just called her Kitty Cat. And then the next cat I got from another shelter, and his name was Matt Dillon. Like, why would you name a cat Matt Dillon? So I just called him George. But you can't do that with kids, right? Like, oh yeah, I want you to meet Darian. Da, da, da. Like, oh, I hate that name. There is not a good human on this earth named Darian. Your name is now whatever, right? So
I don't know. Who knows? I could talk to the kid and say, well, "What name do you want to be called? Do you like being called Bob?"
Bob,
No, I want to be called, you know,
Megatron,
Megatron, Destroyer of the Universe. All right, Megatron it is.
Megatron.
You
Yeah,
know, you got to bond with the kids, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. Totally. But yeah, you would have that child, and you would show them your interests, right? Like you like guns, and you like freedom, and you like playing guitar, and you like Tool. Uh, you probably have like some Japanese culture that you could probably enlighten this person on. And then they're on 2 years later, they're on to another life. Versus like that child is being given, you know, positive male. I think that's the biggest problem with kids nowadays. Whether they're single family households, they're fosters. There's just not enough positive male influence out there. I'm not saying that women can't raise kids. I'm just saying that the kind of backbone or the kind of balls needed to take this country in the direction it needs to go is going to come from a lot of strong men. And if we don't have a lot of strong men being made, created, being taught, and we're in trouble. I mean, in theory, you just need like a handful of good, strong men, and then the rest will follow. But then what happens when that guy falls or that guy falls? Think who's going to take the reins then? You know, man, just
So
something.
you're saying I should foster kids and build an army?
Mm. I'm saying you should fly out to Africa the next time Angelina Jolie goes out to Africa, and you should go adopt one of those kids that works in a mine, or one of the ones that was like part of like some rebel tribe that like knows more about the inner operation of like a gas operated magazine fed open bolt whatever gun than you do or something. That's what you should do. They'd be like, "This is your kid." They'd be like, "Yes, I want you to meet Bo Drake." you know Bo, say hi. And he's got like the thick Queen's English accent, deep deep bass in his voice, and he's 13. and your kid signs up to play sports and he's bigger than everybody there. Something like that. That's what you should do. You should go adopt a kid from another country.
Except I don't want to adopt kids.
I know you don't. I'm just saying you should.
No,
Fight me. Send your daughter
it'd
to
be
fight me.
terrible.
Oh shit. Mm. So how's your butt doing? Are we back to like 80%? Are we up to 80%, I mean?
Yeah, probably.
Probably 80%. That's good. That's good.
My leg has been bugging me more though, I was thinking that the drugs were losing effectiveness, but um, I also realized that I haven't gone to yoga since. Well, I went back Friday, but I haven't been to yoga for like a month. So I'm wondering if that's part of it. So I'm going to go to yoga every night again and see how I feel when it comes down to it for my doctor's appointment in March.
Still no drugs?
I've got my drugs. It's just not working as well. But then, like I said, it could be that it's hurting more because I'm not going to yoga now.
Yeah, it's something you should get back into. If I take too long out of my physical regimen, the pains start coming in. I don't know. I don't know if it's a muscle thing or I don't know if it's a hormone thing. I think maybe it's probably some of each. But obviously, like endorphins are pretty important in maintaining like your flexibility and your stamina and your muscular strength. I feel like that's pretty important. So you should probably get your ass back in the yoga. What about the
That is what I'm
physical
doing.
physical therapy?
Same old, same old.
Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. Yeah, I am just waiting on my house, dude. Just waiting on my house. Waiting on my paperwork. Living out of a hotel, paying mad amount of money instead of paying a mortgage. So hopefully, this mortgage crisis will not affect my resale value too badly. But already I know I'm going to have to put a new roof on it. I'm going to have to fix a window. There's some stuff I'm going to have to do to the place before I sell it. They left a pool table in it, by the way. I'm not much of a pool player. Are you a pool player?
Yeah, I'll play if it's not a bar and I'm drinking.
Yeah, so then you can
So
come
not
over.
often.
You can come over and drink and play pool. And it's got like a gas grill, right? Check this out. This makes no sense. So it has gas. So it has a gas water heater. Um, but and it has a gas furnace. But the stove is electric. It's an electric stove, which I thought was weird. But outside in the backyard, so the guy's leaving a pool table and he's leaving a grill. And the grill is hooked up to, like, they have a gas line that goes out to the grill. You know what I mean? So like you don't, like, normally if you have like a propane grill, you go buy the little propane containers and you swap them out at like the convenience store.
Charcoal's better, but go on.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just telling you, like they left a gas grill hooked up. So, and then the deck, I'm gonna have to get the deck fixed. So hopefully it's not going to cost me too much more money out of pocket to close, because the first thing I want to do is I want to build the deck. Not a big deck. I just want the deck to be. I mean, hopefully the cost of wood goes down, but I want to take that grill, put it up on the deck instead of on the ground floor, and I want to expand the deck so it covers like the door, and then it covers like the two windows. So then you can put the grill up on top of the deck. I got plans for the house, and I'm just ecstatic. Like I'm just happy that I will be finally living in a house where I can walk around in my underwear. Like right now, where I am, there's people like some shady people because I had to move out of a good hotel into a shitty hotel. So there's some shady people outside. But that is what's going on in my life, other than the work stuff. That's the personal stuff. My son's gonna be turning 1 pretty soon, so I'll make sure to send you an invite to his 1-year birthday party. And when you don't show up, I'm gonna give you shit for the rest of your life.
You can't give me shit. You didn't show up to my fucking wedding.
No, that's the point. Is I'm gonna invite you to my
Who
son's.
grown ups gonna go to kid birthday parties? What
The
the
fuck
fuck kind
they
of bullshit's
the
that?
fuck they don't. Of course they do. That's the only birthday party you go to is the 1-year one because that's their 1 year. Like after that, it's kind of optional. And it's a pretty big thing, you know. Just like a wedding and a reception is a big thing, right? I mean, you could just get married at the courthouse, right? But why have a reception? It's not that big of a deal. It's just a tax break. Commitment
No,
doesn't need.
the reception is the party to, we didn't have, we only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but 6 people attend the actual wedding ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah, no more than that, maybe 8. Um, but so it was the reception was where all the friends and the friends and family and everyone could come together and we could celebrate.
Right. So the reception was so that you basically invite other people to enjoy your ceremony, your matrimony, or whatever the hell you want to call it, right? It's for them. The wedding's for you guys. The reception's for.
No, it was for us too. We wanted to see all our family and friends and celebrate with them.
Mhm.
That is why I sent you, my good friend, an invitation to my wedding.
That's why I'm going to send you an invitation to the 1-year birthday party. I want you to meet
Yeah,
a happy, healthy, good-looking baby.
babies
Eh,
are gross.
He's not gross. Like I'll be, it's honest to goodness truth. I had this morbid fear of not morbid, but I just thought diapers were going to be terrible, right? You see videos of like dads just like yakking, like "Ugh, ugh." I've had maybe 2 diapers, 3 diapers in the entire lifetime of this child that were terrible. The rest of them, they just stank. It was just like bad human shit, you know. But he's a pretty good kid. And he's very sociable, like his old man. So he likes attention from people. If he saw your wife, he'd probably just love your wife because he's a ladies' guy. So he's wants to touch your face or grab your earrings. And he's pretty cool kid. It's just weird because I just like a lot of kids his age are shy or antisocial. They're not active. He's like physically active, always doing shit. So yeah. So I'll send you the invitation. You don't have to come, but like, oh, I sent you an invitation to my son's first birthday party. I don't know when I'm going to get married, so it might be a long time from now. So here is an invitation to the next important thing. My dad's got you beat, though. My dad bought him a gun for his official birthday. So Anson was born into May, and like around Father's Day, he visited Anson, and he's like, "Here you go. Here's Anson's gun." So he gave Anson a double action revolver. I think it's a 22 LR. He's like, "So when are you gonna teach him to shoot it?" I was like, "Probably gonna wait till he's like 5, bro." So, but
For a handgun, you'd probably want to wait a little bit longer. Start with a small 22 rifle.
probably, yeah, 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 yeah. So you've been keeping up on the news? You got any cool
Nope.
rowdy shit you want to talk about?
Nope. Haven't been
Okay.
following the news. I know Russia's about to invade Ukraine. We're about to get dragged into it, and going to be a big mess, and Raytheon's going to profit, so buy Raytheon stock.
Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of defense contractors out there. I don't know why you picked Raytheon.
But yeah, that's about it.
What about the shit going on in Canada?
Oh, I think they're going to have their own civil war soon. I think the whole emergency powers declaration was a big fucking mistake.
What, having one or him doing it?
Him doing it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was justified. I didn't think it was justified, right?
And Trudeau's a fucking clown. He's the liberal sweetheart. His blackface is okay because I guess I don't know. Was it blackface? His brown face?
No, it was blackface. He had blackface quite a few times.
Well, I know, but he was trying to be an Indian person or something, so it wasn't really blackface.
Oh, right, because he was dressed up like Aladdin. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever bullshit excuse they gave. But he's a fucking clown, and yeah, he's a clown. They're gonna have their own civil war soon. And it's gonna probably end up starting ours.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like the dude is a giant vag. He is a giant pussy. They're having the protests, and the guy ran off to another. He ran off home. He didn't even, real leaders. You know what they do? They lead when they need to. Need to be out there in the forefront. That's what real leaders do. That guy's not a leader. He's a fucking dictator. And
so, like, be there at the seat of government power versus, I don't know, say, going out golfing.
Well, he said, "Oh, I don't know if you're referring to an American president, probably." But
I'm making barbs at all of them. Fuck leaders.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I told you like 4 weeks ago, you should run for office.
No masters. No, I don't want to run for office. I don't want to be in charge of anybody. No masters.
If not you, then who? Someone else. But
no.
Well, somebody
abolish the system.
Yeah.
Dude, like I said, if for some reason, some way, somehow, I got elected to any office, any authority, any position of authority like that, my first act would be disbanding said authority and working to do that. But we don't need a city fucking council.
Maybe you might be right about that. I don't know. I just know as at least in my mind, when people talk about like Indian tribes and like, oh yeah, when Indians ran socialism, I'm like, well, that kind of works. I guess if it was socialism or communism, I guess it kind of works.
Yeah, but it was voluntary.
But I was like, for one,
the individual natives could say, nah, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna and take off and go set up their tent or teepee or whatever the fuck, somewhere else.
Right.
They could choose to be a part of that community or not.
Correct. But what I was to say is first of all, as the population of that tribe gets bigger, it becomes a harder and harder thing to sustain. Like if you have a commune and your population is 100, it's a lot easier to delegate duties and responsibility. I mean, at the same time, you still have to have kind of like a head person. Not saying that person makes more money or that person lives better, but someone has to decide.
Yes, but it is voluntary.
Right. Now, here's what I will say: as it gets bigger,
go
ahead.
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying that it's voluntary. If I set up a commune and I say these are the rules for living in my commune,
right?
If people come to it, they are choosing with their own free will to follow my rules. There's no fucking social contract or whatever just for being born. It's not like, oh, you were born in this area, so now you work on my commune. and whatnot. That's what socialism and communism is.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'm just saying that you still have to find a way to enforce your rules. If you have rules, people will break them. And you say, okay, well, we just expel them. Cool. Okay, now you expel them. So expel them. You physically have to move those people out of your commune. I mean, some people will leave willingly, and some people won't. And then you'll have some people within your commune that will talk shit about your commune. What are you going to do with those people? Are they cool to stay in? What happens
My
if
commune will have a graveyard as well.
well, now you've become kind of authoritarian, But it's
No, but see, that's the thing, though. I am authoritarian over my own property and my own area. If I'm inviting people, hey, you can come and live over here, but these are the rules. If you don't want to follow the rules, you get the fuck off my property.
I agree, but that only works for like-minded people. When you start getting people that they like let's just say the first generation of you guys are all on the same page, and then there's a second generation and maybe a third generation, you get to that point and those people don't like your rules and they don't like your system. Maybe they don't like you
They can fucking leave.
and they don't want to leave.
Get the
Now
fuck off my property.
but they were born there. They feel like they have that's what I'm saying. It's like at some point you have to be an asshole. At some point you have to put on your crown or pull your big boy pants up and put a foot in their ass. And you either
The,
put a foot in their ass
the,
like
the analogy doesn't work because I can do that. I have no problem being an authority over my own property. And you'd be damn well certain that when I do have my property, I'm going to know exactly where the property lines are and I'm going to make sure and enforce my property rights.
I get that. I
However,
understand
being
that.
born, just because I live in a city or within a certain geographic area on my own property, like if I bought property in town, doesn't mean I'm, I'm not agreeing. It's not agreeing to being subject to this other bullshit. I want to just be left the fuck alone. So also I don't believe in like city councils and all that shit. Sure, you can have a council and do stuff like that, but don't make rules for other people. So like I said, if for some reason, some way, somehow, I was elected to some position like that, the my first act would be to start trying to dismantle said authority. I'd probably get booted off before anything got done because I wouldn't fight it. Like, yeah, I don't know why the fuck anybody voted me into this position. I think this is stupid, and for some reason, some dipshit put my name on the ballot, or they wrote my name in, and enough dipshits did that, and so disband. Let's disband. Done. I will make it. I would be the gunk in the cogs, just fucking things up.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. I'm just saying it's a little more like in a sandbox of ideas. I'm just saying like you have to think broader term, like you really do. At some point, you're gonna we acknowledge that you're the owner of this commune and you started it, but one day you'll be 80, and one day someone could just walk up to you and shoot you, and that's not the kind of civilization you want to live in. You want to live in a civilization where it's your rules, it's your place, and then all of a sudden you have a generation of people that just don't like you, and you have an option. Your option is you forcibly remove them, you forcibly quell them, or they just fucking get rid of you. And but this was your idea, this was your machine, and it wasn't supposed to be a machine. It's just as the population, and you have no choice. Like at some point, if you just don't have a population, your commune dies. In which case, then just live all by yourself, right? And if you live all by yourself,
I am perfectly fine with that.
then you got to grow all your own food, you got to produce your own electricity, you got to kill all your own
Yes,
meat, and at some point you'll be 80 years old and you won't be able to do all of that stuff yourself, and neither will anybody living in your house. Like you do have to depend on people. So but like my thing with Trudeau was just that he the whole thing with the banking system, like that thing in itself was just very shady. Like, okay, you know, you want to send the police over there or whatever, but like they're giving banks the authority to go after people they feel as if are terrorists or whatever the term was because they're protesting, or people that are donating to those people to continue protesting. Like that's kind of unprecedented. And um as much as I think badly about the guy, I just that right there, I was just like, yeah, see that's a dictator right there. Like the banks.
No, the emergency order. It said, see, let me read this thing. The emergency order or the order says that banks and other financial entities like credit unions, co-ops, loan companies, trusts, blah, 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 cryptocurrency platforms must stop providing any financial or related services to people associated with the protests. A move that will result in frozen accounts, stranded money, and canceled credit cards. The government is also ordering insurance companies to suspend policies on vehicles that are part of an unlawful public assembly. These financial institutions can't handle cash, issue a loan, extend a mortgage, or more generally facilitate any transaction of any, quote, designated person, end quote, while the Emergency Act is in place. The regulations define a designated person who can be cut off from financial services as someone who is directly or indirectly participating in a public assembly that may reasonably be expected to lead to a breach of the peace, or a person engaging in serious interference with trade or critical infrastructure. So they've made it so that anybody protesting, they can just start freezing their accounts.
Right. Exactly.
And taking their money. And so
But
that's why
it's not just the government though. They
buy
actually
gold, buy guns.
they gave private banks the right to do that. So basically, normally the government, like, I don't
They
know.
didn't give the private banks the right to do that. They ordered the private banks to do that.
Well, what I'm saying is they ordered them to do that, and so the banks, you know, they don't need a court order to shut down your shit. And then on top of that, there's no libel for it. So if the bank
Well, it's like
in
what
error
is it?
they shut down your account because they saw you transferring money, and then later on it
No,
turned out like you were doing something that had
no, no,
nothing.
no. You do still have to be a quote unquote designated person as defined by the government. The government needs to. It's like the U.S. system. The God, what is the name of that check? Uh, I'm trying to remember when I worked at the bank. There was a system that basically, oh, fucking Tony would know off the top of his head. That would basically, run against names. If someone comes in, opens an account, or does certain transaction over X amount, the name gets run through the system, and that transaction might get halted because they're a prohibited individual. So the U.S. has that too, and that's happening currently.
Right, but here's the thing: is there, if they shut down your account, like in the U.S., if they shut down your account and it was found to be like an error, like you would have grounds to file suit against that bank. Like, oh, they discriminated against me because I have money and I'm part Japanese or something, right? You would have grounds to do that. Like you may not have a good case. Your case may get thrown out, but like in Canada with this, you can't even bring a case against a bank. So if they go
If it
out of
was
the
done in error, like if it was
if
done
it
in error, you could bring in cases.
no, they waived it. So you can't even bring a case. So like you're just an innocent guy, you have a lot of money and you're transferring the shit from A to B, and they're like, "Oh, red flag. He transferred like," and so they freeze your account, and all of a sudden, like, maybe you miss some home payment, mortgage payments, or something, and then it just comes out that you're just a dude that was transferring money for some reason, and you can't go after the bank because the bank is ordered to do that, and it's just off of suspicion.
Oh, fucking, I mean, Wells Fargo's doing that right now with what is her name? Black talk show host,
Black talk show host
not Oprah, but Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams. I know that.
I think that's the name. I have to double check, but she got a court order saying no, release the fund. They froze the funds because her former financial advisor who was fired said that she's under, she's being manipulated.
Okay.
So Wells Fargo froze her accounts, like $1 million worth of accounts, and she's now like unable to pay these bills and mortgages. She's got, she lives in New York, I think, and can't pay for $1 million condo or whatever bullshit. Um, but she's got the money. It's just frozen by Wells Fargo. Well, she went to court, got a court order for them to release it, and they're still refusing, or were anyway when I saw the last article.
Mm. Yeah, and then finally, when your money gets released and your credit's tanked, you sue the fuck out of Wells Fargo. But Wells Fargo's Wells Fargo, so they'll just settle. But she has a course of action. Like, it just I did not even hear this. That's crazy. But at least she can use the system to go after these people. I personally I think Wells Fargo, Bank of America, I think they're a bunch of crooks. I really do.
Wells Fargo are a bunch of crooks, and I won't ever use them. Um, and I always advise anyone or any company I work with, if they use Wells Fargo, to leave them.
I have never had a problem with Chase. I've never had a problem with Citi. I just secondhand, I know Bank of America is scum, and I know personally and secondhand that Wells Fargo is scum. So
And we know somebody who, yeah. But yeah.
so yeah.
Her name is Wendy Williams. She's a comedian and talk show host. Uh, let's see. They cut her off from millions of dollars and threatening her ability to pay her employees and mortgage. Wells Fargo says that Williams is being financially exploited by others in her inner circle, but Williams has filed an injunction of her own to get her money back.
So the
So,
bank
so
is
yeah.
freezing her assets because somebody like a financial manager, her family is stealing her shit. Is that kind of what I'm getting?
What it was is her former financial advisor said she was under duress. And really, when the companies have your money and stuff, they make money on you having your money there.
Right. Yeah, just like a bank would, right? They
Mm-hmm.
have money, therefore they're able to loan out more money or invest more money, right?
Let's see. The dispute appears to be rooted in conflict between Williams and her fired former financial advisor, Lori Schiller, who first made the determination that Williams was unable to manage her own finances competently. And even though Williams fired Schiller, Wells Fargo has continued to follow her directives and freeze Williams' financial accounts.
Under duress. Huh. That's such a huh. Huh.
Let's see. Is this the one? No, I don't know.
But yeah, you can't even do that in Canada right now. So they were arresting people. Obviously, you saw the horses trampling some people. And mind you, these people weren't really violent, right?
Yep.
I think
And
the
they let their guns get taken away.
and
That is why that shit is happening. Because they wouldn't actually do that here, because they know that somebody would start shooting. If they started trampling protesters with horses,
hmm
think about it. If they went to Portland
hmm
and started trampling the Antifa protesters with horses, they'd get dragged off that horse and probably strung up. They would probably get shot, and
probably.
it would turn into like a shootout on the street, and it would be nuts. They know that they can't get away with that shit.
Yeah. Um. Man, that did bring me to that other point about Australia. It was just you see what happens when you give the government a little bit of power and you give up your guns. So I don't want to hear anybody talking shit about you Americans with you guns. Just look at what they did in Australia and look at what they're doing in Canada right now. And these are developed Western countries very much akin to us Americans. And the difference is we have a constitution and they don't. And we
They
kept
have
our
a constitution, just has different rights.
Well, yeah, okay. They don't have Canada doesn't necessarily have the free speech rights we have, and they don't have the freedom. They don't have the right to bear arms. Like they can bear arms, but it's so limited. It's basically like you can have a hunting rifle that has one round in a magazine and one in the chamber, and you can have like a hunting shotgun. And then I think in certain stretches, like if you lived out in the wilderness, there's like limitations on like the pistol you can have, but you
See,
can't
the
have.
Remington 700 bolt action single shot, you do a lot with that fucker.
Yeah, but you got to chamber around and chamber around and chamber. You know what I mean? Like, assume that you legally buy one, and then now you have to get a magazine. Now you have to go around trying to get a magazine to. But I mean, you know what could do? You know what does more work than that? A fucking AR-15. So
I'm just saying, a Remington 700.
a fucking pistol with any caliber pistol with a 10 to
I would
15.
wager, I would wager more people have been killed with a Remington 700 than with an AR-15.
Well, you mean domestically though, right? I mean,
I mean,
obviously,
I'm talking in general. No, I'm talking overall around the world.
we fought a lot of wars with an
Not
AR-15 type rifle.
with an AR-15 type rifle, not an AR-15, motherfucker.
Well, then technically, then nobody's really been killed by an AR because if you're gonna go by that, there's only so many AR-15s. Then you got like the Ruger version, and you got the Remington
No,
version.
I'm talking about the AR-15 semi-auto,
Hmm.
whatever.
Right.
Not an M4, M16 select fire.
Oh,
So I'm talking a Remington 700 bolt action.
let me look this up. I just want to look up what this gun you're talking about. Continue talking.
The Remington 700.
Yeah, just continue making your point.
No, that's it.
All right, standard hunting rifle. What caliber is it?
It's M24.
So it's a seven. It's a 308 then.
Yeah. So but the military designates the Remington 700 as the M24. It is still
308
actively.
Winchester. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, and you can have it in multi
Yeah,
calibers.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think, in fact, the military has been going to 6.5 Creedmoor. Um,
I'm listening.
no, I'm just saying it's still the standard.
So you think more people have been killed by this than any other weapon? Huh?
I wouldn't say any other weapon, but by AR-15s.
Hmm. Cartridge 7.62, 338 Lapua, excuse me. It doesn't say anything about a Creedmoor on it though. But I wouldn't put it past it. They're probably testing it out.
What do you? Yeah, I know they're testing it out.
This says effective firing range is 800 meters with the 7.62. Maximum firing range is 4,400, but effective firing range is 800.
Yeah.
I don't see myself engaging too many targets past 300. So I don't
Doubtful. But just saying.
know.
More people have probably been killed by a Remington 700 than with an AR-15.
And I think more people have been killed by 9mm handguns than either one of those.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So yeah, Canada. I hate to say it. I mean, I feel for
What's your
you,
Remington 700 right now?
but you need to. Like I was just like, wow, dude. Like, I remember I think we were podcasting. I think we had a podcast and we talked about. Obviously, it was last year when he barely won re-election. I believe we did talk about that because people didn't expect him to, but he won re-election narrow. Like, And I remember watching, I don't know, 3, 4 years ago when I first started, like, having my awakening on the political side, but I was like, "Wow, this motherfucker really does look like Castro." Because there's that rumor that his mom went down to Cuba because his dad was in cahoots with, like, the Communist Party down there, and she went down there and got stooped by Fidel, and I'm looking at him like, "Dude, I can kinda see it. I could totally kinda see this being Castro's kid." We need to, like, run a DNA test. I know someone's got Castro's got kids, so we could just get Castro's kids' DNA, and then we could get a profile, and then we could get Trudeau's DNA profile, and we could see if he's related to Castro. I bet you he is, dude. Bet you that motherfucker is. But yeah, I would really love to. Do you know any Canadians? Do you know any Canadians that are actually old enough and in the know-how of politics, and you can ask them what they think about? Because I don't know any
I,
Canadians.
I've got a couple friends who are Canadian, and I haven't talked to them in a while because they're part of the gaming groups and stuff that I haven't really been active with. But
Yeah, hit them up, dude. F- Find out what they
but
think about this shit.
when Trudeau was reelected and when stuff was going on, he was like, "This is terrible." He's in the military, Canadian military, and is like we were joking about him defecting to the United States. Well, I just said, "Hey, man, Idaho borders Canada." Just actually, I said Idaho borders Canada. I kept referring to Canada,
Yeah.
but you know,
If he's the
I'll hide you under my floorboards.
uh well, it just goes to show if anybody learns anything that protests, especially peaceful ones, uh they do have an effect.
Well, yeah,
They
and that's the thing. They weren't attacking, harming, setting fire to federal buildings, attacking people, attacking media, blasting lasers in people's eyes.
Mhm.
They were just parked
And honking occasionally.
and honking, being noisy. Um, yeah,
Now there is a rumor mill. Apparently, there's a bunch of truckers that want to do the same thing in DC. Will that happen? I don't know. Uh, so
I don't think it will.
I don't think it will either. I just because I think that's just another way for a certain party to just be like, see, we need more power. You need to reelect us. We need to stay in office because you have these bad truckers.
No, what the truckers need to do, like they did to Colorado, is just stop trucking. Yep. Well, I'm not going to deliver to DC. No, not going to deliver to California anymore.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, they did. They did to Colorado, where that one guy um, had like break a mechanical failure and ended up plowing into some people, and and it was a wreck, and it was a mechanical failure. But he got like 40 years.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. He got maxed?
Yeah, initially, and then the governor stepped in and was
Pardoned
like,
him, right? Commuted his sentences or something?
I think he commuted like 38 years of the sentence or
Yeah,
something.
what
It
okay.
wasn't like complete
It was a black
commutation.
guy, right? I remember
I think
seeing
so. Yeah.
somebody was saying this is unjust and da da da. Like so his truck had a mechanical failure and he got in an accident and killed people.
Yeah.
And
But
I think
it was due to the mechanical failure. Now, I believe the 2 years or whatever was left because I think he had been driving more hours than he should have been.
right.
But it was the mechanical failure that caused the accident, not him being too tired or whatever.
Yeah, and I remember. Okay, I don't remember the story. I just remember reading like some comments. I didn't really look up the story, but a lot of people were like, "Well, that's what happens when you're an operator of a truck. You have to be able to." I'm like, dude, do you know how many components? You know how big that truck is? Like how? Uh, you're not a mechanic. Like you're kind of a mechanic, but dude, you don't know the ins and outs of that. You know, like the basics, bro. Especially if you're going to truck driving school and the guy looks young as hell too, right? He's not even in his 30s.
I think it was in his 20s. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like a lot of this mechanical shit that drivers have, they either have a passion and they know before they get in, or they learn along the way. And he doesn't look like he's a guy just based like, yeah, there's just no fucking way. Like, yeah, I saw that. That was stupid. That was okay, dude. It's an unfortunate accident. Are we gonna go after somebody? Sure, but who do we go after? I don't know. Not that guy. Which
the
which
company who maintains the truck.
probably. What about the? Yeah, don't they have mechanics on retainer? Or if he's an owner operator, that might fall on him though. It might fall on him
He's
too.
not. He wasn't,
Okay,
and that was a big part of the hubbub. The maintenance was supposed to be done is was the responsibility of the company.
right.
So, but the truck driver they lined up all deliveries going to Colorado. They just lined up outside the border and stopped
This was in
and just parked on the side of the road.
this was because of his shit. That's what they did.
Yep.
Good for
Mm-hmm.
them. Good for them, dude.
So that's what they should do. They want to flex. Don't fucking go to DC and try to shut it down because that's not gonna do anything. Nobody does work in DC anyway. Fucking just stop delivering shit.
To those areas,
That'll
or
to
to
those
everything,
areas or to everything. To those areas to everything. You know, I wouldn't say don't do it to everything because then they're going to be cutting their own throats as far as getting paid and
paid.
whatnot. But
Yeah,
just no deliveries to DC or you know
just would it like blacklist certain names? Just like
no delivery to California.
yeah,
Can you imagine if California was now a lot of stuff comes out of California because they've got all these ports,
right.
but with the trouble with the port of Los Angeles and other stuff like that, fucking go to a port in Oregon or Washington.
Hmm.
Washington's not much better. Oregon's not much better, but you know, but still,
Well, if you remove Seattle and you remove Portland, they would be a hell of a lot better states. I think we'll say that.
right. But they still control the coast. Still controls the rest of the state. That's where the power is consolidated,
Right.
and that's why all the people in Eastern Washington want to split off and join Idaho, form the like Greater Idaho, Eastern Oregon.
Dude,
I think even a little part clip of Northern California.
so you'd have Idaho and West Idaho, kind of like Virginia and West Virginia.
No, it would be one state. Greater Idaho is the proposed plan.
Oh, okay.
Um, I believe all the counties that it would affect in both Washington and Oregon. I know for sure Oregon. I think Washington too
Wait,
voted
so part of Oregon and part of Washington both want to join Idaho, or just one of?
both parts of Oregon and parts of Washington want to join Idaho.
Oh, okay.
And I believe I think it must have been Oregon. I think all the states or all the counties that would be affected by that secession from Oregon voted and approved the measures. Obviously, it has to go to their courts and whatever for permission from the overlords. I mean, government, but you know, these people want to they don't want to be a part of that bullshit anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I know I don't want to say too much. I know people in positions of authority in Oregon, or I'm sorry, in Washington, that have specifically said we are not going to enforce these bullshit gun laws. They had that one about the AR-15. You got to be 21 and blah blah blah. It's like I'm not taking my son's gun away from him. We're not going to enforce them.
Hmm.
And if they want to send the state police in to try to enforce this shit, they're not getting any help from us.
Right. Yeah. Hmm. To be honest, if I was in the executive branch, like, if I was in the police, like the sheriff, like I would want a well-armed militia. I would want people because we're not going to be able to fucking go everywhere. We're not going to be able to get there in time all the time, right? Oh, my abusive ex-husband. Oh, somebody's trying to rob my house, or like I kind of I would rather take the chance that a citizen owning a firearm, and again, it's easy for me to say because I'm not a cop, but I'm one of the mind that where I would rather put the power in the hands of the person. Like I would want someone to keep their tax money. Like we'd probably take like I think that federal tax rate's like 20%. Like what if we just tax it like 10%? Just make it a tithe. You were tithing to the federal government, and we are funding the military. And maybe we'll fund disability, but we're not going to pay for retirement. There'll be no Social Security that's on you. In the meantime, everybody arm yourselves because the police can't be everywhere at every time. And I would take the chance. I would rather take the chance that I show up to somebody's house for something and get shot than, I mean, like I said, it's easy for me to say it. I'm not a cop, but then, somebody calls because they're under duress and for some reason we don't get there in time and that person's seriously injured or dead or kidnapped or something. You know what I mean? But yeah. eh. So Trudeau's a bad person. People in Australia are bad people. The
Trudeau's a
government.
fucking. What's happening in Australia now?
Well, Australia, remember they were locked down. They just opened up their lockdowns, but they had people in internment camps because they weren't vaccinated. So people refused to get vaccinated. So they not only did they lock down the whole population, even the people that were vaccinated. So if you're vaccinated, you could go to work. It's like you could go to work and that was it. So you go to work and then you go home. You don't get to go here. You don't get to like you're very limited in your movement. And then the people that were unvaccinated, they rounded them up and they put them in camps. And there were like TikTok videos, there were YouTube videos and snippets of like Twitter when I was still on Twitter where people were like outside like their internment camp house and there were people in hazmat suits yelling at them to get back in their house. And the dude like went outside to smoke a cigarette or something. It's just authoritarian as fuck. And people like you and me, especially me, just been saying like, look, man, this shit ain't going away. You're not going to stop it. These cloth masks don't help. The vaccinations don't stop the spread. This is really lunacy. There's no point to any of this you're doing. And magically, we're starting to lift the restrictions. And I ask you, why do you think we're magically lifting restrictions all of a sudden?
Election cycle.
Midterms, absolutely. People are pissed off about what CRT. They're pissed off about crime. They're pissed off about inflation. I think the coof for a majority of right wingers and moderates, free thinkers, I think they're over it. I think they realize how important it is to just take your own life by the fucking balls and live it. Um, but yeah, I think that's what it boils down to. So, but yeah, I experienced a little bit of that here in Maryland, where you go places and it's like wear a mask, and I was like, I ain't wearing a mask. The lady in the hotel made me put a mask on to check me in, and then after that, I just never wore it again. And then Maryland magically is like, "Oh, we're lifting restrictions. The science has changed." And it's like, "No, the science was the same. It's just you interpreted the data differently for some reason." I'm sure you watched the Super Bowl. You saw the clip where all the celebrities weren't wearing masks in California.
I did not,
Well, did you
but
did you see that? Like all the celebrities are not wearing masks, but the
no, I did
kids.
see. I saw something. I think it was. I thought it was a playoff game though, where Gavin Newsom and somebody, the governor and some celebrity weren't wearing masks. I
Oh
want to say
yeah,
Magic Johnson.
it was Magic Johnson, and then you had the other guy, Eric Garcetti, was caught later, and at the Super Bowl, every celebrity that was in the box, Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, Jay Z, um, Chris Rock or Chris Tucker, you know, Gavin Newsom. Eric Garcia, like everybody, all the important elite people were not wearing masks. And it was not, the NFL had like a mask rule, and apparently people that got their tickets and went through the gate weren't given masks. They weren't enforced to wear masks at the Super Bowl. But meanwhile, in the state of California, if you're a kid going to school, you still have to wear a mask. So, but yeah, it's government. It's what is it saying? The guy said, I think it was Benjamin Franklin. I could be wrong, but he's like, we get the government we deserve, basically. Like if we vote for them, we deserve it. Yeah. And as I said last week, we need like a poll tax. We need like an entrance exam, like 20-question exam, in order for you to be able to legally vote. On top of IDs and stuff and proper registration. So, excuse me, COVID. Is there anything else you wanted to touch base with today, sir?
Yeah, not that I can think of.
All
Just
right.
yeah.
Well, next week I'll be in another hotel, so hopefully the internet will be a little bit better.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So we'll see how it goes. But I wouldn't hold my breath because that'll be a week from now, and you'd be dead. Probably a zombie, a very scary zombie at that. So, but yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Last word with Darian. Final word.
Taxation is theft, and never, ever, ever give up your arms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And if for some reason they offer a buyback program, just make sure you put them through the screening process they put you through when you go to buy a firearm.
Yeah, what's the rate of domestic violence offenders with law enforcement versus the general population? So
I
you don't want to be giving your firearm to a domestic abuser.
No, not at all. Lautenberg Amendment, right?
Also, if there's a buyback program, just get in touch with me, and I'll hook you up better than the $50 Amazon gift card.
I'll give you a better rate. All calibers wanted. Like black guns matter. Um, but yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in to the show. Leave a comment, a like, subscribe, share the
Delete your
video,
social media.
delete your social media.
Go outside. Delete your social media. Talk to people face to face.
It is cold though. It's pretty cold outside.
Actually, it's gonna be really fucking. It's gonna be like 27 tomorrow. It was in the 40s today, but
It's not what I want to hear.
27 tomorrow.
It's not what I want to hear, sir.
Dude, it's actually going great for our real estate market. Californians are fleeing.
Mm-hmm.
They bought these mountain properties, and then they got the snow this year and are bailing.
So they're leaving Idaho because the snow is bad.
Yeah, we had a heavy snow this year.
Oh,
I hope we get more.
I hope you keep it up there. I just want it to warm up. Okay, that's all I want. But yeah, well, with that being said, I'm Jake.
I'm Drake.
This is the Jake and Drake Show. We'll see y'all next week.